Okay, good afternoon. My name is Alyssa Brown and I'm with Open Door Ministries located in Gainesville, Florida. And I'm here today with Joy Glanzer, candidate for Alachua County Commission, District 1. Joy,
3.
welcome.
District 3.
Okay. Oh, Lord.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry. And I changed it to
That's
1.
fine.
I had it as 3 and I thought I was wrong. I'm sorry. Long election. I'm going to start over.
That's okay.
Wonderful. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alyssa Brown. I am with Open Door Ministries here in Gainesville, Florida, and I'm here today with Joy Glanzer, candidate for Alachua County Commission, seat 3. Joy, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Alyssa.
Well, you're
it's good to be here.
We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
So we are hosting this series of interviews to help our members and by extension, the community learn more about where our candidates stand on the issues that affect us. And so I'd like to begin with your platform and just focus a little bit on that. What are the most pressing needs you see in Alachua County and how do you plan to address them?
That's a lot to unpack there. You know, there's a lot of things that are happening right now that are important. Obviously, COVID, and one of my passions is the growth management amendment, which is on the ballot. But basically, from a 1,000-foot picture, I want to give a new voice to the commission, a fresh voice. Currently, there's no diversity in party on our commission, and that effectively locks out a good chunk of our population from having a voice. In addition to that, our small communities have no representation, and that's initially the reason I got in the race, because I'm from Newberry. I'm a former city commissioner, and I remember the frustration that we had trying to address the board on issues that are challenges in our communities. As I talked with the other 8 municipalities, I find they have the same issue. They feel that there's no voice on that board. So I hope to bring awareness to the rest of the population. You know, Gainesville is only 134,000 people, but the rest of the county is about 136,000 people. So, you know, there's half of us that really are in need of a voice as well. So that's kind of my overall view. There's so many issues in our county, housing, poverty, education that need to be worked on. I've been a small business owner for over 40 years in this county, and I've dealt with budgets, planning, strategic planning, and I feel ready to address those issues. And I want to work with my colleagues. Right now, there's such a polarization, I would say, of political thought in our country, and it has trickled down in our community. And I will stop that. There won't be that in my administration or my service, because I don't care what your party is. We all have the same issues. You know, I don't define myself by my party, and I don't think we should define the solutions we have before us by party. So one for all and all for one, I guess you would say. Oh, I don't hear you. I can't hear you. There you go.
Sorry. So true to our COVID times, my daughter is on her Zoom class and the teacher is extra loud. So as you answer, I'm putting myself on mute because I don't want any feedback to impede others from hearing what you have to say. Sorry about that.
Sign of the times, right?
Certainly to say the least. So I want to talk a little bit about what I've come to refer to as the 3 E's: environment, economy, and equity. All really complex areas with equally complex needs and consequences and geographic implications in and for our community. And I think that some would say that our county has struggled at times to balance those needs and has leaned most often toward prioritizing the environment. How do you plan to balance those needs and move us forward in all 3?
Obviously, the environment is critical because much of the attraction of Alachua County is our springs, lakes, rivers, and recreation. However, you know, there's so much more to our county than that. There's about 300,000 people moving into the state every year. We're going to get our share of them. We have got to be ready. We can't close the borders. We have to be very clear and distinct with our policies, our regulations, and our codes for developers that want to come in. I don't want to pave over paradise, so to speak, but I do want to welcome those who want to live where we live. I mean, I want them to enjoy what we enjoy, the quality of life that we have, but we have to balance the economy. You know, one of the things that I am going to be a very strong voice for is a living wage. In my opinion, every ill we have, every plague we have in our society stems from not being able to afford food, housing, utilities, you know, and everything that goes with it. And until we pay a living wage, it's going to continue to plague us. And so here's the deal. I use the hamburger as an analogy. We all go out to eat. And if I have to pay another dollar for my hamburger so that that person serving me can also buy a hamburger and go out, I'm willing to do that. And if everyone has to do it, we all rise with the tide. Corporate lobbyists have been very strong to tell small businesses, of which I'm one. I'm a small business owner for over 40 years. They're telling us that you're going to go out of business. This is going to, strap the economy. We're going to go broke and bankrupt. Just the opposite is going to occur. When the living wage is paid, as a conservative in government, we're going to see the need for food stamps go down, the need for public assistance, public housing. As you can afford to buy these things, the government involvement in our lives is going to go down. So I'm not sure if I address the economy, environment, and equities all at once, but again, I think everything stems from paying a living wage. It might be not popular with, I don't care if it's popular or not. I think it's essential. If we're going to solve these problems, we're going to have to pay people a living wage. Inequities in our community are vast. And if anybody thinks that everything is equal, they're not paying attention. From public works, I mean, if you go to the east side of town, you don't see the same beautiful curb and gutter landscapes. Even the schools have less facilities, books, and tools to work with. So the county commission has got to take a look at this and see how we can level the playing field, because it's not level at this point. But I agree with you that the environment has been a big focus in our community and in our government. I just feel we need to balance it out with the other two things you talked about, because you have to have three stems on a stool, three legs on a stool in order for it to balance and be safe. And that's what we have to do.
Thank you. Okay, so to say that race is a hot button issue right now would be an understatement. What are your thoughts on the issue of race in Alachua County, and how do you believe that we can increase equity here specifically?
This is a worldwide issue. I mean, and yes, in our county, it's a big problem. I mean, personally, I'm involved with the Truth and Reconciliation Initiative. I'm an organizer. We helped organize last summer to go to Montgomery, Alabama. We took a busload of Black and white citizens up there to tour the Equal Justice Institute and the Legacy Museum. And through that visit, there's so much. I could write a book about what we all learned about it, but through that visit, we were able to tap into the soil collection project, which through a long process, we have been approved to be a soil collection site in February of 2021. That's just a small thing. I'm on the Rosewood Foundation board. We want to keep the memory alive of the massacre that happened in 1923. Currently, we're raising funds to build a museum and educational center in our church to commemorate the Rosewood Foundation, which will open on January 1st of 2023. It will. These things are just raising awareness of the issue. Racial equality will not start with laws. It has to start inside the heart of each person. I can't make a law and make you not biased or bigoted. It doesn't work that way. It has to come from the heart. And so we can make laws to bring things up and make them more equal. Like I said, a living wage, raise awareness and bring facilities to these areas. But until the individuals feel it in their heart and understand the equality of the human beings that we live with, it's not going to go away. And I don't think it's only of our generation. I don't know how many generations we're going to have to witness that go through what we are still going through. It's frustrating to me, and I will work till my last breath every way I can to bring awareness of this inequality to my community.
Thank you. In what ways do you believe you can work with the faith community to move our county forward?
Oh, I love this. Our faith community is the bedrock of our community. Our churches and facilities, they're everything. I'm a member of the Newberry Methodist Church. I'm a lay servant and a backup pastor. When my pastor goes away, I do the sermon. We have outreach in our particular community. Until COVID, once a week we had a community meal. It wasn't for the poor or needy. It was for everyone from all walks of life to get together. And we fed about 80 people a week every Sunday in the afternoon, and it was great. Churches are where you find the harvest program to feed people. I would want to work with churches on helping with young people have a place to go after school and have mentoring. There's just so many ways that churches are involved in our communities. And if we can support them and tap into their resources and actually help them, give them an avenue by which to help us, I think it would be a great partnership. I think the churches and the government, I mean, they are separate, but I do think we can work together to help the quality of our community. I personally am very, involved in my church and my community, and I'll do everything to help without overstepping the boundaries of church and state, do everything I can to help us each be the best that we can be.
Awesome. Thank you. So is there anything I haven't asked you that you would like to share?
I'm concerned about COVID. I'm concerned about when the federal funds run out at the end of December, where you don't have that protects you from being evicted. I'm concerned we're going to have a wave of homeless people. I mean, when Dignity Village closed, only half of those people right now have been housed. There's over 100 people, I think, that are still looking for housing that lived in Dignity Village. In January, I fear that we're going to see a wave of it, and we have to be ready. I'm not sure what the solution is, but we have to be ready and willing to get our hands, just dig in and make it, and help each other, help our businesses, help people get their jobs. And housing is just going to be a big issue next year, and I want to be a part of helping that. My business is real estate. I have a real estate company, and since March, a large part of my time has been spent helping people find utility assistance, rent assistance, food, utilities, everything. We're seeing people in dire straits now who never thought they'd see a food line. We're seeing people who never thought they couldn't pay their rent or utilities. It's overwhelming. And I don't know, I'm in the trenches, so I'm living it. And I just don't know if everybody's aware of how desperate things are and may get worse. I don't want to be a doomsayer, but I do think we need to focus on that and be ready for it. And I want to be a part of that solution.
Wonderful. Listen, it has been a pleasure having you here today, Joy. We really appreciate your perspectives. We also appreciate those of you who are watching. And if you want to keep up with what Open Door Ministries is doing, please follow us at facebook.com/opendoorgnv. Thanks and have a great day.
Thank you.
Take care.